Haka Sngi Rakhe kilat Pathai Khubor Hakri India Barokaway Kashilong Press Club SPC Ryngkat ke Megalia Editor and Publishers Associations MEPA Lembat Kejing Senok Ketilang Bat ke Office Departments of Information and Public Relations di IPR Kumba Julek Manlau Senam Mentakakenti ke Khandreu Terik Nai Wing Arjar Pusau Kelapan Long Bat Rakhe ke Sngi Kerpang Kinong Pathai Khubor ke Bajutip ke National Press Day Menta Usnam Haganega Sngi Rakhe National Press Day ha State Convention Center Menteri Rang Badu ke Jula Conrad ke Sangma Ulawan Shimbynta Kumukong San Ryngkat Vijay Kumar Menteri IAS Commissioner and Secretary ke DIPR Presiden ke MEPA Uba RM Shabong Presiden ke Shillong Press Club Uba Demaya Siangshai ke Dekat ke Executive Committee ke SPC ke Nongtho Khubor Bat Kui de Kibala Shakhwat Ngubha Habakran Hakijing Rakhe National Press Day Menteri Rang Ba ke Jula Conrad ke Sangma ula pentip ki kato katne ki rai bala shim na ka sarkar ban khami lem ya ka bha kamyat jeki nong Pathai Khubor ha ke Jula Meghalaya habakran halor ka mat preng jong ke jingira ke changing nature of the press Menteri Rang Ba ula banjur ye ke jing don kam ban batai shai bha ye ke jing ya pher hapreng ka kam Pathai Khubor bat ke jing ai jing tip ne ka Khubor babu ha ki social media lani kanu ka de ka Khubor ka badai bat kanu ka Khubor ka bathok bat pakala.
Another very important aspect for us as a government is that we have also seen in the past that there has been a lot of communication gap between our press fraternity and our DIPR. And here I must put in a word of congratulation to both our Commissioner Secretary and to our Director. I personally feel they're doing a very, very good job in terms of really working towards reforming the DIPR and improving the relationship with the press fraternity. And to a large extent, as I said, all these have happened during their time. And it is based on their suggestions that we come forward with different policies and programs. And keeping that in line, we've been discussing a lot about how to improve the overall relationship. And we've also realized that I think just one small example is regarding the advertisement money that was pending for a long time. And you're aware that this is a big issue for all of you because obviously a lot of the revenues for the press, the media houses, not necessarily journalists, but for the media houses, the bills used to be pending for a long time. And if you remember that these bills were department-wise. So if there's an advertisement by PWD, then PWD used to pay for it. So if there's an advertisement by sports, then sports pays for it. So which means that each of the media houses would have to run after each department to get their bills and their payments. So what happened in the recent past was we reformed that and we made DIPR as the only department with which you will have to talk to and communicate. So whatever advertisements come out, the departments don't pay for it. It's DIP's responsibility now. So a small change like this has streamlined the process. But now what has happened is that what the 40, 50 departments used to do, one person has to do it now. So he's got a huge amount of work. So how do we now streamline that particular aspect is the next step, which we are working on, which means that the SOPs have to be looked into. We have to look into how we can reduce the red tapeism, if I may, in the system and cut short the process in which the bills are finalized. Today, just to clear one bill of one advertisement, I think the director has to sign maybe 10, 15, 20 pages he has to sign just for one advertisement. So that's how complicated things are. But without quoting me, that's how government is. So we have to decomplicate government, and that's what we're trying to do. It's a common word we use, "Arey sarkari style hai to." So that is what it is basically. But we are trying to make it non-sarkari and trying to create more professionalism in the system. And I'm hopeful that very soon we'll be able to do that because it's quite complicated. It is all the way from the top to the bottom. There are so many different aspects which I don't want to bore you with. But we are doing those reforms. And what is important is that while we're doing that, we also realize that we need to support our journalists as well. And therefore, coming to my next point, that I'm happy that on an occasion like this, A few things I would like to share that we have come and decided on is that we had basically certain schemes where we were supporting journalists from the government from Meghalaya. There was a scheme in 2009 which had come out, and I will just read them out. So the scheme was, one scheme there was for the family of deceased journalist. We used to give 1 lakh to the family of a deceased journalist. We have decided, and I'm happy to announce that we are increasing that from 1 lakh to 5 lakhs. So 5 lakhs will be provided to the family under extreme hardship on account of the death of the journalist. We were giving 50,000 to journalists who suffer permanent disability. We have increased that amount, and now we have increased it to 3 lakhs. From 50,000, we're increasing that to 3 lakhs. So 3 lakhs will be provided to the journalists in case of permanent disability, rendering the journalists incapable of earning a livelihood. There was also an amount of 50,000 to journalists in case of extreme hardship due to illness. We have also decided that we will increase that amount from 50,000 to now 3 lakhs to be provided for treatments for different major ailments. So these are 3 important supports that the government was giving. So we have simply decided to enhance them. Another very important aspect which we are working on is we want to create some kind of a system where we are able to coordinate with the press and the journalists and the DIPR, and hence we'll be forming a small committee. This is Sarkari, of course, but we are forming a committee. But you'll be happy to know why we're forming this committee. So this committee is being formed, and whoever the senior most bureaucrat, that means the commissioner secretary or principal secretary, will chair this, and of course director and other officials from the government will be there, and we will have 2 to 4 members. We're still working on it from the press and from the media who will be members in this committee, and this will facilitate the entire process of the coordination between the press and the government, which, as we know, was missing in some way, and small things were not happening because this kind of coordination was not there. So I'm sure that this committee will be very, very useful, and this committee is being formed. But more importantly, apart from the coordination that you will be doing, I have also decided that we will be putting a corpus of 35 lakhs in this particular committee. Now, and we will keep topping it up as and when the money is going down or whatever it is. We'll figure out the system, but immediately we'll be giving 35 lakhs to this committee, and most probably we will, because it hasn't come to the cabinet note yet to us, we will be most probably making this into an annual affair, but let the cabinet approve it. The idea and the purpose of this being that apart from the ailment, apart from the disability or any kind of situation that journalists may face, we also realize that there are other needs, especially, for example, post-retirement and other kind of benefits or other extreme situations. So this fund that we are keeping it of 35 lakhs, which will be with this committee, where 4 members from the press will be part of this committee to decide how this money should be used. That you can use this money, say, for post-retirement, if you wish to support journalists who are in need from post-retirement support, or if there is any kind of situation which requires, again, funds to be used. This committee will be completely empowered to independently decide on how and this money should be used for whatever welfare purpose of the press fraternity. So I can prepare a proper SOP and a proper mechanism on how you will use it, or what the procedure of using it. I mean, the purpose can be flexible, but the method and the areas which should be spent on. Suddenly we find that, there's a foreign tour being made by the journalists. We need 35 lakhs, of course. So it should be meant for social aspect, for the welfare aspect, and for the support aspect of the journalist, is what I'm trying to say.
First of all, I would like to appreciate Shillong Press Club to put this together, take this initiative, before we even requested, and they have taken this initiative to organize National Press Day, and they have brought MEPA and DIPR together. It's a wonderful job that they have done, because other states, if you see, the government is conducting they have taken the initiative, but this is the only place where the Shillong Press Club has taken the initiative. That is something wonderful. And not only that, they have brought together all the journalists. Ever since they have taken charge, the new leadership has come in Shillong Press Club. There are a lot of changes. I see the one pack, the journalists are one pack. So I see a lot of unity, and they're all together, and they are working on many other things that they're going to see a future. So I would like to really appreciate the leadership of Shillong Press Club for taking this initiative. And this day is very, very important for all the journalists, of course, for our country also. November 16 is the day when Press Club of India started functioning. So Press Club of India, actually it was in 1965, the act came. In 1966, the first Press Club of India was set up. But in 1975, unfortunately, due to emergency, the act was repealed, and then the Press Club of India was closed down. It was a very, for media, it is something we cannot even talk about it, something like that. So immediately after the emergency was over, 1975, again the same act was enacted in exactly same spirit. Even it's even improved. And then the present Press Club of India came into being in 1976 and November 16. So that is why it's a very great thing that we have to celebrate, because if you see the Constitution of India, the thinkers, the people who drafted this Constitution of India, they never have given the provision for media. Media has evolved. They have only three organs of the state, if you see, the judiciary, legislative and executive. Media was not there. Media has taken the place, evolved slowly, and then it has become a fourth pillar. Everybody recognizes it as a fourth pillar. Of course, judiciary has given a lot of support to media over a period of time. But if you see the executive and legislature, they are not separate anymore. They are together. You always see the legislative and executive together. Bureaucracy is totally, the autonomy of bureaucracy has come down, reduced, but the autonomy, freedom of judiciary has increased tremendously over a period of time. Along with the judiciary, and the media has grown. This is a very beautiful, if you look into the past, how the media has evolved over a period of time. It's a beautiful story for India. Because if you see the Constitution, only the one word is written, that is given to everybody. 19(1)(a), the fundamental right, it's a freedom of speech. It's given to every citizen. But it is interpreted that it's a freedom of press. And it's evolved in such a way, and there are many judgments, Supreme Court judgments, that have said that the media is equally, the freedom of media is equally important as freedom of speech. So, having said that, over a period of time, when the newspaper was there, it was very simple. Press Club of India is there. The main objective of Press Club of India was to ensure two things: the balance between the freedom of press and the responsibility of that. Because if they don't self-regulate, and then the power, you don't have the power anymore. So somebody has to regulate. If you don't regulate yourself, then somebody will regulate. That somebody will be definitely government. So instead of allowing government to regulate, the media themselves, they gathered together and they regulated themselves. They put restrictions. There are journalistic standards. The PCI is continuously giving out different, setting up standards for journalistic standards, which is sacrosanct for all the journalists. And especially in our Meghalaya, I see that very high standards of journalists compared to many other states. Because I have experienced when I was working in Delhi, I have seen this very closely, how the ethics, journalistic ethics are in other states. Compared to other states, our state is much, much better. If you touch any journalist, and then there is something there, I don't know how it's, because it's not it's not that you have orientation. I don't know where it's coming from, because it's not that when you get into the profession, there's an orientation, or maybe it's not that SPC is conducting an orientation to them. But it's automatically coming. I talk to every journalist, there's a standard there. There's the ethics. He doesn't do anything that is. If you go to other states, they even threaten. They send a draft media report, send it to the officer or politician, and then they have some deal. So I've seen these occasions many times. It's being reported. But only the newspaper was there, it was pretty simple. You know, they could organize themselves and they could control, regulate themselves. When the TV broadcast has come, again we have tried to bring in broadcasters association is there, but still the sensationalism has become a big thing. And because TV, when there were very few channels, it was fine, but the number of channels are there, and then the attention span is very, very less. So now you have to sensationalize. So another aspect of sensationalism has come into being. That period is over now. The new thing has come. The digital era has come, and it's a big, big challenge where everybody has to sit together. That's the theme today: changing nature of the press, because the press has totally changed, and the future is going to be more interesting because so now how do you regulate now? How do you self-regulate? Because there are three individuals who are dominating the entire scene. One is Meta, the head of the Meta, head of the Google, and head of X. Just three guys who are dominating the entire thing. Even if you see individual.
And at the same time, I would also like to express my gratitude to the government and officials of DIPR, which have organized a recent press tour. I have visited Sora and Longstoin. These two villages which are far from city, where I have witnessed the success of various schemes in agriculture, tourism, and MNREGS. So, as of today, I would also like to say that journalism these days, in fact, it needs that we have to work very hard and we have to try to do our best to keep the best reporting in our day-to-day reporting. I want to tell you, in fact, nowadays journalism is very easy because you see everything is always accessed in our hands. But earlier I tell you that to get only one report, it was really very, very difficult. In the year 90s, in the year 1990 onwards, I tell you up to 2000, we journalists, we never knew even about the decision which was taken in the cabinet meetings. So nowadays, I'll tell you, we journalists, we are very friendly with politicians, with lawmakers, with officers. So, but even on that also, I would suggest that we work hard so that we will see that our work or our reports will be very meaningful to the people. In fact, as I told every time, today is the day that I have to see myself, what I did in the past, whether my reporting, whether my work, I have really satisfied, I have given my best service to our readers. So this is the day when we have to remember ourselves about our profession which we are doing. So only these people say thank you so much.